It's flippin' tea time, ladies and gents. I'm not supposed to be swearing as much. I swear too much around my child. Yep. What's up? Episode
513. We're doing something very different. At the start of this channel, we brought on this type of tea a few times. Every couple hundred episodes, I think we're due. So
Exactly.
And we had a good occasion for it because Denny went somewhere.
So, I just got back from Japan, and we're going to be drinking some Gyokuro. This is from Ippodo tea. I got this one in Kyoto. This is this tea is only sold from the Kyoto store.
Okay.
It's grown in Uji.
Okay. So just right by Kyoto.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Southeast slightly.
And Tenkaichi.
Yeah, exactly. This is their fancy. I had it there and really enjoyed it. The vibe was just really cool. I was really having a great time experiencing the teas there, and the staff was like, I can tell you're like having a great time. And I was like, I'm really having a great time. So I would recommend going there. And I'm brewing it how they brewed it. And so the way that they do it there is that they steep, let's see, is this slightly cleaner? No, it'll be fine. So I have 7 grams of tea in this Kyushu. I don't know how to pronounce anything. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, what do they call it? Kyushu is an area in Japan. Is that what they call the teapot too?
K-U-K-Y.
I'm pretty sure on episode 11 I definitely knew. And
anyway,
how time works and aging.
So 7 grams in here, and then I just add lukewarm water enough to cover the leaves and let the leaves absorb the water. You're not really steeping the leaves with heat yet. You're just having them hydrate.
Sure.
And then the water, so I was served something like this with a thermos, and then you take the hot water, boiling water, let it sit for 1 minute, transfer it to another cup, let it sit for 1 minute, which is happening here and very soon, and then pour and serve immediately.
Yeah. So basically just watch what Denny does.
And I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm following their instructions, and hopefully it tastes good.
And what teas did you have at Ippodo?
I had this, and then I also had their matcha.
Okay.
That's about how much they used. And
Are we drinking this?
We are.
Okay. So they're matcha.
And the matcha that I had was served thicker than mud to start.
Yeah.
And they have you drink it like that.
Like mud.
As much as you want of that. And then they give you water to mix into the matcha to finish it.
Okay.
And so it was an experience. And again, I was sitting there just experiencing the aroma so much. The matcha bowls are these really big bowls. The vibrance of the color was just so rich and green and saturated. It was incredible. It was a cool vibe. Lots of people were there taking photos of the teas and stuff. They were really beautiful teas.
So you'd recommend this shop?
I really would. Yeah. It was one of my kind of a highlight experiences for me. Definitely a tea vibe for sure. So here you go. Look at the color on that.
That is very grassy.
Yes.
And for those of you not in the know, I mean, this is part of my limited Japanese tea knowledge. Gyokuro is unlike Sencha in the sense that it is grown in the shade.
Exactly.
So it's a little different, usually a little higher end than Sencha too. Cheers.
Cheers.
Or as the Japanese say, cheerio. Your friend Sam commented the other day that at one point we were saying cheerio, and you were laughing every time, and now we just say cheerio with straight face. When I'm thinking very intensely. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Cheerio.
But every now and then we can still crack up at it.
Yeah, shout out to Sam. Congratulations, dude. Okay. What do you think? What are you getting?
It is, it's taking me back. It's been a long time since I had this tea. Super grassy.
Yeah.
Even like the fragrance is just straight up the nose.
Yeah.
We don't have many Chinese green teas, period, in the show.
No.
The Japanese ones are always so strikingly grassy.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, totally. Umami, seaweed, salt. I thought the nose on this had some hints of some fruit in there, but definitely some grass in there as well. Maybe a little bit of kind of a buttery creaminess to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And just very different.
Yeah, definitely not a daily drinker, considering how much attention needs to be paid towards this.
Yeah, and this is about 66 cents a gram. So, something you're definitely going to want to share with a friend.
Sure.
Or be attentive to, for sure.
And how many grams are we using?
7. So
Okay.
it's like a $4.50, $5 session here.
So on the higher end as far as like a tea session goes. But,
Yeah.
$4 or $5, it's like...
Still your Starbucks.
Yeah.
We just double, triple latte crap that you get.
We just pounded a lot of dim sum, and for one dim sum item, it's more than $4 or $5.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So, in the scheme of really exciting teas to try, this is one for me that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this, especially at the shop. It's interesting when you go to different places and stuff. I had a lot more fruit aroma when I was drinking this in the shop.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But similar vibes otherwise.
Could be the water certainly having an impact.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's interesting too, drinking tea liquid that's not really warm, like hot.
No. Yeah, you don't really need to slurp like
no.
Chinese tea at all.
Yeah, not at all. And these teas, I was surprised by the bitterness. But
this first tea not too bitter.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. I expected, given how verdant and crisp the smell of these is. Okay, perfect. I was surprised. And the brewing vessel that I used there had a smaller spout, so it brewed up a little bit more than this is pouring. So our final steeping here. We'll try 4. I will the water. I will try to pour it a little bit more slowly.
Okay.
The liqueur itself is as green as you can imagine a tea to look. I mean, it's crazy uncommon to see something like this in Chinese tea. I don't think I've ever seen a tea like this before.
No.
I guess we don't drink green tea ever.
I know. That's the funny thing is I actually had a green tea pulled out that we might do today. Given we're doing Japanese green, I don't think... That's a lot of green tea for one day. Got to wait a couple months,
Pip, pip.
Cheerios. Okay, now it's bitter.
It's got quite a bit of viscosity.
It's enhanced the grassiness too. You're right. It is pretty viscous, especially like you think of something like so lukewarm like this. You wouldn't think it's particularly viscous.
And I poured it quickly.
But yeah, it has like strong mouthfeel, some pretty strong texture to it too.
Yeah. It's served when you go to the shop. They'll serve it with a treat, something sweet. Which when I went, I had not had food for a few hours, and it was essential that I had something like that because I would have puked my brains out.
Yeah.
These teas are definitely intense. And so, I think I had like some sort of like mochi type thing.
I feel like the sweetness would make this taste even more bitter.
It's a kind of, it's a contrast and complement. I thought it was a perfect pairing. I usually don't do, especially something like this that was, kind of expensive, kind of a very expensive session. In person, I would never expect to have food with it, but it was a wonderful pairing. Yeah. And there's the little bit of the sediment at the bottom. Just it's a vibe.
It does linger in the mouth too. It's definitely a little grassy that lingers in the mouth, but it has this kind of like thick coating that it'll kind of do over your palate. Very interesting. Yeah. Interesting how we do this with the next tea. I mean, it's like you think of green tea as a little more delicate, but not necessarily so in this case. I mean, certainly probably a little fussy to brew, but...
Right. Yeah. I would not, 1, have no experience doing this. 2, would, even so, if I was really experienced, would probably keep this very kind of regimented compared to, you're throwing together a ripe where it's like, you can kind of mess it up any way you want. It's going to taste great. So, yeah.
Mom test?
I don't think so. I mean, no, not at all. I mean,
Okay.
the flavors themselves, it's just too intense, I think.
Okay.
What do you think?
Probably agree. Yeah, it's very grassy. Probably, I think there are more appropriate Japanese teas, like a sencha or a hojicha would work pretty well.
Yeah, totally. And I had plenty of the bottled iced green teas out there, just as something as a refresher, which was lovely too. So, but it was cool. I felt like at the shop, everyone that was there was a tea nerd.
Okay.
Really. So the experience itself was really lovely.
Okay.
And yeah, the staff was like, I can tell you're enjoying the aroma and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was definitely fun.
And was the tea shop busy when you were there?
Not too bad, actually.
Okay.
Kind of an uncommon area in Kyoto to be. So my wife and son were out enjoying a lovely playground in the area. And I felt like, man, I don't know. I just felt like it was a cool neighborhood. Lots of cafes, beautiful looking coffee. So if you're a coffee nerd, I think there was quite a bit of that for you as well there. Oh man, I'm giving you a little bit more than, don't overdo it.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, no problem. we got a lot of tea to get through today.
Yeah.
Let me give this a sniff. I can't get over how the color,
Yeah, it's so green, yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, interesting. It's funny how session to session things change. I got so much kind of high fruit notes when I was drinking these.
Yeah.
The matcha especially.
I can't say it's particularly fruity.
No, I'm not getting that at all, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, salty, oceanic.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mellowing out just a little bit here. Not nearly as bitter as the last tea.
Or as viscous.
Also true.
Yeah.
But still maintaining a decent viscosity.
Yeah.
Really get that umami vibe on this one.
Yeah. And they only had me drink it 3 times. So, and they served it to me brewed.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the prep that I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say this tea is like a tea nerd's tea?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Wartime?
Probably.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like this has like a lot of energy to it, honestly.
I feel like you'd screw up the brewing. You'd be like, oh man. It's like the cabinet was shaking, so
that's true.
I spilled some of like my lukewarm water.
Oh my god.
It's like my timer's all off and all that stuff.
I sent you the text of the screenshot that my buddy John sent, right, from the Reddit thread.
Oh yeah, the ultralight.
Yeah, shout out to you guys who think that we're talking about anything real on this.
It's just a made up thing.
Oh my god, it's all made up, guys and gals. But I love that. I love the idea of the ultralight test. Is can you bring this tea and kind of grandpa style brew it without overbrewing it and letting it kind of hang out? Does it have like a lot of wiggle room for messing it up? Can you brew it in one big vessel? There's no science behind any of this.
Yeah. Obviously, this tea would probably not pass.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. This tea, again, I think really benefits from a regimented style of brewing, which I'm not doing perfectly here, but
you're doing your best.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah. This tea is strong stuff, man.
Yeah, seriously. Right?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine doing like the continued mouthfeel and stuff. I couldn't imagine doing more than.
If we had to do like 3 episodes of Japanese green tea in a row, it'd be
I don't think I could handle it.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I would strongly recommend trying a variety of different flavors from however you can get them with tea. This fills a very different sort of sphere of flavors, even though it's grassy and bitter. We have plenty of those in young raws that we drink on the show.
Yeah,
there's just something about this: the saltiness, the umami, seaweed, a little bit of a buttery vibe. I don't know, it's come together in a unique way. It's really fun. So I've enjoyed it. I've had a great time. Japan is awesome. First time there, would recommend. be using a little bit too much water, honestly. But a little bit yellower now than green.
Oh, yeah.
Still pretty strong. And for these teas, well, they're exquisite and, yeah, kind of expensive. I don't think I don't know. I don't think you take this to the water pot and boil it to get as much as you can out of it. I think you just
I don't think so.
have the 3 and call it good.
It could be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I feel like if you could nail it exactly right, maybe. But yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's interesting the trajectory of this. I would say the second steep was by far the strongest.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It had the thickest, but also the most bitter. These third and fourth steeps, I would say, are pretty palatable overall. Like a nice middle ground. Mm-hmm. They definitely still have like the overall profile of it, right. But they're not as intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of an interesting trajectory.
Right. Definitely less viscous. A little bit more umami, a little bit less of the bitterness. A little bit lighter, but still quite strong. Yeah, it's like the difference between like doing shots and like drinking a cocktail.
I'm sure that was the comparison on everyone's mind.
These are like the shots of tea. It's like these are just strong.
Well, I mean, talk about shots, matcha.
Yes,
that's like Everclear or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
matcha, the Everclear. Should that be the thumbnail? Just like your face with a bottle of Everclear and like a matcha bowl.
Right. You won't believe what it tastes like. God, I hate the internet. No, I don't. I love you guys. But
Wu-Tang.
Yeah, thank you, Wu-Tang. Yeah. But yeah, the whole algorithm crap is stupid. It is. I do think we did do the whole like thumbnails thing. That is so funny to me. Every time I see the screenshots, I just like laugh so hard. Unfortunately, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, views went up by a fair amount with them. I mean, honestly, I just kind of like doing them. They're really stupid. I'm definitely not a great thumbnail creator.
It's hilarious, dude. I love it so much. I love that we're playing the YouTube game, but it's like us, so it's like a terrible job.
We're like 7 years behind everything.
Yeah. Okay, well, hey. Check out Ippodo Tea Shop. They actually do sell through, I think, like Amazon. You're not going to get the same teas, obviously. The different shops sell unique to those shops' teas.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So, but ippodo-tea.co.jp as well, if you want to order direct. I'd go, and if you're ever in Japan, I'd give them a check out. They might still have a shop in New York, you said?
They did at one point. I assume it's still there, but I actually have not kept up on it, so yeah.
Really fun. Very different from what we're typically drinking on the show. I had a great time exploring Japanese tea there, and I think I will continue to do so a little bit.
Yeah.
Although
it's one of those things where some people, they put in just like one order to Japan per year.
Yeah.
A little bit of Japanese tea and then
I think that's me, honestly.
Right.
I love the variety of flavors that we get from Chinese and Taiwanese and various East Asian teas that we have. Yeah, it's definitely been fun and interesting, for sure. There's a lot of like gear that you need for the Japanese tea, actually.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. We have just enough to get it done.
Yeah,
I have this Japanese teapot that probably hasn't been used in a couple of years.
Right. I did acquire a matcha bowl, so we'll do that properly.
Yeah.
So, hey, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Send this to your dog's ex-wife's social security officer.
Whoa.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah.
And
don't forget your 941s. We'll see you next time. Cheers.